Our final project, the next phase of your final project is, first of all, you've calculated the total Q that you've lost per hour. Worst case scenario, meaning the hourly calculation where we decided a temperature differential as the worst case scenario. You'll have to fill in your own number here. Total square footage, you'll have to fill in your own number here, but for calculation purposes or for this example, I said that we lose 1 million BTUs an hour. Total square footage is 100,000 square feet. So we want to figure out our total hourly Q divided by the total square feet tells us what our BTU loss per square foot is. In this case, it's 10. So that would mean that you would have to provide 10 BTUs per square foot in the classrooms. Take the classroom size, whatever square footage that is, multiply it times 10, and that will tell you how many BTUs you need for each classroom to provide. And you'll do that with your terminal units. Now, we also want to know what the annual BTU is so that we can figure out our annual fuel cost. The formula for that is U times 8 times degree days times 24. You see that there is no delta T in here, so we simply take in my example here, I'm using 6,000 as our degree days, and 68 is our delta T. So I divided 68 or divided delta T out of the formula, and then added everything back in. You have your total Q, divide that by 68 and multiply it times degree days times 24, and that will tell you what your annual BTU consumption is. And then we can figure out per square foot what it costs per square foot. But we want to know what the annual BTU consumption is so that we can calculate our fuel costs. The energy content in these fuels will have a unit. So in a gallon of fuel oil, how many BTUs are there? In a gallon of propane, how many BTUs are there? In a cubic foot of natural gas, how many BTUs are there? And in a kilowatt hour of electricity, how many BTUs are there? And then what is your cost per unit? If you're buying this unit by the gallon, well, you know how many, you'll be able to calculate how many gallons of fuel oil you need in order to produce the amount of energy that you need. And then you can take that number of fuel oil, gallons of fuel oil, times the cost per unit, and that will tell you what the total cost is for those various components. I will post this on the content area in Blackboard.